I'm in love! I'm in love! Yippee! Ah! Is he new? I do my own stuff! Do you remember how we started the last one? Or the first one? Welcome to the second inaugural episode of the only Tom Cruise focused podcast on the internet. I've checked. I think it's us. The Cruising Altitude Podcast. Woo! That was really loud. So, last month we covered Tom Cruise's first ever feature film, Endless Love. I almost forgot its name.
I keep thinking it's called Immortal Love, but I think that's because we kept discussing about how David's a vampire.
No, David's not the vampire. The family's vampires.
Yeah.
Duh. So, this month we have 1981's Taps.
I have been informed that Bunker Hill Academy is to be closed. An end to nearly a century and a half of tradition, and an end to the heart of us.
Sir, how can they do this?
With the stroke of a pen, sir. Their field of honor was a desktop.
The lady said the proprietors ordered the school closed. Now, as I see it, we are the proprietors.
You tell us where you put those weapons, or this will be the sorriest day of your life.
All right. Everyone in here is here because they want to be here.
Our son would not be involved in something like this.
Lady, if my son can be involved in it, your son can be involved in it.
My men, our tanks, our helicopters, we will take this campus.
So anybody who isn't 100% sure of what we're doing, take one step forward. Attention! Forward! Forward! Major Moreland, he's our man. Major Moreland, he's our man. They don't scare us, do they, Charlie?
No, sir. Me neither, sir. They don't scare me.
What in God's name did they teach you in here?
You and I have nothing more to talk about.
Which I think came out like a few months after Endless Love. So, he was probably filming these around the same time, maybe.
That's probably why his character is kind of similar.
Mm-hmm. He was in the same mind frame.
Yeah.
So, here's some, of course, we always start this show off, always, even though this is the second one, with 4 fun facts about Tom Cruise. Are you ready for these?
Oh, I'm ready.
His star sign is Cancer. Is that the crab?
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
I was gonna make a I have crabs joke, but I couldn't think of a good one. Okay, so I found this on IMDb. They list his trademarks.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Cruise often plays romantic leading man with an edge.
I see the edge, but these two haven't been like romantic.
No, he's not to the
He's not
romantic
ready yet.
leading role yet. He's still he's a young buck. He's a greenhorn. Tom Cruise frequently plays intelligent yet laid back and likable characters.
I see.
Still hasn't found his way there yet.
Not yet.
Tom Cruise has boundless offstage energy.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. He's always had that. And what is this? This is like 9 years before he becomes a Scientologist, I think, because I talked about it in the first episode. I think it was 90.
Yeah. Okay.
Empire Magazine listed him as the 41st sexiest star in 1995. That's out of 100 other stars. He's number 41.
Not bad.
Yeah. So this, how old was he in this? He's like 19.
I think so.
So he still has a few years. He didn't look good in this film. It was that haircut.
Yeah, they all looked. I had like trouble like
telling who was who.
Yeah, for a while I was like, okay, this dude is that dude. But yeah, that haircut wasn't good on them.
I couldn't figure out who the leading character was.
Yeah,
for the longest
me
time.
Too.
Let's see. He's played a soldier in 8 films.
Nice.
They are Taps, Top Gun, Born on the 4th of July, A Few Good Men, The Last Samurai, Valkyrie, Jack Reacher, and Edge of Tomorrow.
Hmm.
That last one's a pretty good one. Have you seen it? It's with Emily Blunt. Every time like he dies, he gets sent back in time. I think.
Oh yeah.
That's a good film.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that one. And that's all my Tom Cruise fun facts for this month. I'm already so low on this list. I'm running out of stuff already, and it's only the second episode.
Does he have a Twitter?
Yes, he does.
We should message him. It's like,
you think we could get him on this podcast?
Maybe.
Tom, if you're listening, give me a email at my email in the description. I don't know which one I want to put.
Make a new one.
I think it's at the Cruising Podcast, the Cruising Altitude Podcast, or no, the Cruising Altitude Pod at gmail.com. Give us an email there, Tom.
As soon as this goes live.
Please don't sign us up for any spam. Yeah, as soon as it goes live,
you just start getting Scientology emails.
Okay, here's some Taps the film facts. Military. All right, this is the slogan, the tagline. Military cadets take extreme measures to ensure the future of their academy when when its existence is threatened by a local condo developer.
Those damn condos.
It was directed by Harold Becker, obviously released in 1981. Stars George C. Scott. He was the brigadier guy. Bach, I think. Bach? But it was Bache. Bache? I think that's what it was.
Yeah, I wrote his name, but I forgot how to pronounce it.
Timothy Hutton, who plays the leading role of Bryan
Moreland. Yeah.
I got it confused for
morphine.
Let's see. Giancarlo Esposito? Is that how you say his name?
There's a meme in there, but it's so overused.
Alexa played Esposito. He played what was his name in Breaking Bad? Gus.
Yeah.
He played Gus in Breaking Bad. That was cool to see him in there.
I didn't recognize him until after I saw the movie, and then I looked at the Wikipedia. I'm like, wait, where have I heard that name before?
Sean Penn in his first ever film, and Tom Cruise, baby.
Oh my god,
I can't believe this was only his second film, and he already has such a big role in it.
Yeah,
he went from at least 5 minutes in Endless Love to basically the entire film.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere that he did so well that they wrote more for him.
I have that somewhere here. I think it's in Fun Facts. Let's see. It's based off a novel by Devery Freeman from 1979 called Father Sky. Couldn't find a whole lot about it, so who cares? Here's the tagline that's on the poster. This school is our home. We think it's worth defending. It's not an actual quote in the film. It's rewritten from the film's line. Something completely different. It had a budget of $14 million.
Damn. And
made $35,856,053 in the box office.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's good for a 1981 film. Don't know what that is with inflation, but I'm not going to bother to find out. Okay, here we go. So key actors were required to participate in a 45-day-long orientation at the Valley Forge Military Academy. They were given uniforms and authentic military haircuts. They slept in the barracks and were subjected to the same rigors and hardships as the cadets. While most of the actors enjoyed this orientation and went through with it, Tom Cruise decided to opt out and stay at a nearby hotel. Like you were saying earlier, Cruise was originally going to play a character, a background character with less in the film, but the director was so impressed by the way he conducted himself as a cadet living in a hotel that he decided to give him a larger role.
Maybe he was afraid that he would get too into it. So it's I need to cool down, guys.
Oh my god. He only did 1 day of orientation training. And he was already his character in the film. Let's see. 2 different military academies declined to have the film be shot on their campus after finding out the ending. 2 different ones.
Maybe it's like Endless Love, where like the budget just went to destroying the place.
That's right. They spent the whole budget on the fire. Like I said earlier, this is Sean Penn's first film, and more than 2,000 actors auditioned for his role.
Damn.
That's a lot of fucking people.
Yeah, because there's only like 100 cadets in the movie.
I was gonna say 150.
Oh.
All right. Are you ready to discuss the film?
I am.
All right. You have your notes right there. You want to start off, or you want me to introduce? I'll start it off. So, first of all, Tom still isn't in the opening credits before the film. I didn't see his name there, so he's still working up the Hollywood ladder. Good for him. The film opens with quite a banger. It's a funeral for cadets or former TAPS players that went to the academy, I guess?
Yeah. I kind of didn't realize.
What did you think it was?
Yeah, I thought it was a funeral, but I didn't think it was like for like the cadets or like past cadets. I didn't know what it was. Like, honestly, I thought it was like a general died or something.
Oh, because they were like listing off names like so-and-so, TAPS player, 1855.
Yeah. Do they explain what TAPS is? Is that just like...
That's just like the
name? Oh.
The instrument that they play. What is that?
Trumpet?
The trumpet, there you go. That's like the thing that they play. Whatever TAPS is. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Oh, okay.
Quit putting so much pressure on me. Get off my back. So anyway, the film begins. It's the graduation week, I guess.
Yeah.
For Bunker Hill Academy, military academy. And so they're doing the funeral, obviously. They're doing the like graduation ceremonies, and the cadets are all packing up and everything. And we're introduced to our protagonist, Bryan Moreland?
I wrote down Moreland.
Is it Moreland? I got it confused with Moveland while I was taking notes.
I'm still thinking morphine.
Bryan Morphine.
David Axelrod.
Bryan Morphine. So, you got anything to say? What are your notes? I don't know what you got.
So right now I have Bryan Moreland is MC, like main character, and then David Sean is, in big words, Tommy. Oh yeah, and then like, during the ceremony, there's like a dude with a staff or something. When they're like, when he's giving the speech outside.
So
I think earlier they said that they were gonna play D&D later. So
that's
I
right.
was like, oh wow, so he is a D&D character.
So the academy is run or led by Major Commander, or wait, what was it? Brigadier General Bache?
I think it was Bache.
Bache?
Yeah. I keep thinking Bach.
Yeah, me too. He's insane.
Yeah.
He's a madman who brainwashes children.
Yeah.
It's before the graduation ceremony that he invites Bryan over to his private quarters with another young man to have dinner and drinks.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
He said that he like told the maid to get him coffee and whiskey. So I assumed like, oh, okay, he's being responsible about it. Like, he's not gonna give them like drinks.
No, he wants both.
Yeah,
he's mixing it up. That's weird that so he invites whoever is the major or the cadet major over to have dinner with your replacement.
Yeah, and he's happy about it too.
Yeah, he's very. They're just odd, aren't they? Something off about all the people in this film. Oh man, yeah, weird dinner, and he talks. So he reminisces about just being a soldier, I guess, and then he talks about being warriors to two teenage boys. It's such a weird scene.
They're eating it up too.
Mm-hmm. They're kissing ass. Let's see. He gives them brandy. He did give them brandy.
Mm.
And they didn't like it, but they drank it anyways because they're men. And then Bryan is promoted to cadet major, and he returns to his dorms or barracks or whatever.
Bunker.
And all of his friends congratulate him. Sean Penn's there. He plays a kid named Alex.
Alex Dwyer.
Yep, Alex Dwyer, the only sane person in this film. Is that fat nerdy kid there too?
I think he shows up.
He shows up later asking for grenades.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. He's like trying not to eat them.
That
was good.
And then as Alex and Bryan are talking in their room, Tom Cruise finally appears, and it's only let's see here, 15 minutes and 45 seconds of a 2-hour film.
15? I thought it was before then.
No, it was 15 minutes 45 seconds exactly.
Yeah.
You know what time he came in Endless Love?
1 hour
50-minute mark.
Oh.
But did you notice how he opened the door? He was like a guest star for a sitcom. Like he opened it and then he like leaned in. And he was like, "Hey there." He waited for the applause.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
They're like, "Tom, this isn't a TV show. You can keep acting." What did you think of him? What did you think of his look? His hair was gone and he had a buzz cut. Yeah, all of his gorgeous, beautiful locks were missing from his life.
Yeah. So, you said that he was filming like Endless Love around that time, so it had to be after.
Yeah.
Unless he had a wig in Endless Love.
Oh my god. Do you think he did? I'm gonna say he did. He had this is all new, never been released before news. Tom Cruise had a wig in 1981's Endless Love, allegedly.
Yep.
So we don't get sued.
But yeah, he seemed fine at the start. Like usual.
Yeah. He gains your trust and like comes closer to you, and then you realize how insane he is.
Yeah.
He's wearing a big fancy uniform and he has a sword also, because like what is he? He's a Red Beret.
Yeah.
He's the leader of the Red Berets at Bunker Hill, which are just like fanatical warmongers in training.
Yeah.
What did you think of his drill team, like ceremony he does for Bryan? Remember, he surprises him.
Takes him outside.
He takes him into the hall, pulls out his sword, walks like he shit his pants down the hallway.
And they like twirl their guns around.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of neat, I guess.
Yeah. It builds on his like undying loyalty to the leader, I think.
Yeah.
He also whatever those pins are that they have on their shoulders for like military, I don't know what the hell their name is.
Yeah.
But when Tom sees when Tom sees Bryan's Cadet Major pins, did you notice how heavy his breathing was?
He just starts salivating.
He was like He also has a sweet beret.
Yeah.
I have a beret. Did
Really?
you know that? Yeah, I bought one years ago because they're cool.
Oh no. Wait, I think you wore it to class a few times.
Did I?
I think so. What? Unless you're talking like...
No, that's a different hat.
Oh, okay.
That's a driver's cap.
Oh, nice.
There's the dog sigh. Happens every episode. Let's see. So, after the drill team performs in the hallway and all the other students stand at the other end in their underwear, wondering what's keeping them awake from going to bed, the final graduation occurs. And do you have any notes about this? What do you got? What's next?
The next thing for me is condos.
Okay, that's around this time.
Yeah.
So the general gives a speech, and I like to think that he's probably hungover because he was drinking a lot last night.
Yeah.
So all the like companies or whatever, they walk down the field, and all the parents are there, and everybody claps, except for the company led by the black guy. Did you notice that?
I didn't.
Pierce, played by Giancarlo Esposito. No one claps when he walks by with his guys. I went back. I rewound it. I went back and double checked. No one does.
Oh, jeez. I didn't notice that.
It's fucked up.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it just so happens that all of the main characters each lead a company. So there's Pierce, Alex, he's a horsey rider. Brian leads all of them, I guess.
Yeah.
Eddie, I think his name is. He looks like Ezra Miller.
Oh, yeah.
He's one. And then Tom, of course. David Shawn.
Mm-hmm.
And the Red Berets. Let's see. So he continues to give his speech, and then he reveals that the academy is being shut down.
Oh, no.
Why?
Condos.
It's a classic, good old-fashioned trope of, we gotta save the school.
Yeah.
And it doesn't turn out how you expect it to.
Oh, no.
It's much worse. Much darker. Did you remember the line of... So, Beish says that the academy is paid for by the blood of our graduates.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck? That doesn't seem like it's gonna help you in any way, especially if like you're trying to get money from the parents. But they have 1 year to save the school.
He said something about like, this is the greatest battle, and then I don't intend to lose it. I'm like, geez, who's he gonna try to kill?
Yeah, what did you think about him up until that point?
I thought he was like kind of really dedicated, but I didn't think he was like
insane.
Yeah.
Boy, was he.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see. Later that night, Brian goes to his office and asks how the academy can be shut down or something. And he's explaining it's like a bunch of bureaucratic bullshit or whatever. Mm-hmm. He's like calling them pencil pushers and how they don't have honor. And then Brian says, let them raise the tuition. We'll pay it. What a dick. Yeah. What a rich kid dick.
I know. He's like, my parents are going to pay for it anyways. It's fine.
General complains some more about how there's no honor in the world and something about old people retiring in golf and civilians.
Oh, yeah,
you remember that? He's like, I don't want to get old and go on a golf course with civilians. Yeah. I'd rather die.
Yeah, he's like, I've worn my suit every day since I was 12. Like, Jesus.
Haven't washed it since. He also says that the boys are his family and he won't let them take them from him.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. What happens? So then it's the dance. The ball. Ooh.
Oh, no.
So we see the general getting his handgun. Do you think he was going to kill himself?
Yeah. There was a lot of scenes where he's just, like, looking, like, in the distance. Like, and then the lighting's really, like, dark. I'm like, oh, jeez.
As soon as he grabs his handgun, I'm like, oh, shit, he's going to fucking kill himself.
Yeah.
But nope, he's just getting it for show.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what a good military man does for a dance that he attends with children.
And he doesn't make sure it's not loaded.
Mm-hmm. Well, hey, he checked the magazine. What can you expect? What do you want from the guy? You should show him some respect.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
So, at the dance, the general and I think Brian's there with him. Or is he? Or is it some older man? They're there, like, just greeting the cadets and their dates
it was
that they
him,
got
right?
somehow.
Pretty sure it was him.
Yeah, it was him.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, outside, across the street, the local rabble is harassing and, like, catcalling girls, and they're also racist and homophobic, and one of them is David Spade.
Is he the guy that...
Did he not sound like David Spade?
Oh.
You're the one that gets shot.
Okay. Don't spoil it.
Who cares? It's from 1981. But the cadets, what is it? They give racist remarks to Pierce, and then like all the other cadets like come down, and Pierce is like, "You guys should get the fuck out of here, or else blah blah blah," and they're yelling at each other from across the street, and then they fight.
Yeah.
For some reason. And how old were those guys across the street?
I think they're supposed to be
to be like teenagers,
age,
right?
But they look like they're in their 20s, like late 20s.
Yeah. They're also getting hammered.
Yeah, they're all drunk.
But they fight, and like more and more cadets spill out, and everybody's fighting everybody, and then Beish I'm never gonna
We
get
should
that
give
name.
him a nickname.
Baker Boy.
Baker.
Bakey Boy.
All right.
Then Bakey Boy runs out and he tries to stop the fighting, and some guy tries to steal his handgun,
Yeah.
and David Spade is shot in the chest.
Like when I first saw it, I thought one of the dudes, like
One of the rabble?
yeah, was
Yeah,
the
me
one that
too.
shot him.
Yeah.
Because it looked like it, but I guess it was.
So, I also went back and rewatched this. The fighting drunk guy who grabs the gun, he clearly has it like around his hand.
Yeah.
And then the gun goes off, and David
And it's
Spade
in
gets
his
shot,
hand.
and then it's suddenly in Bakey Boy's hand.
Yeah. It's like when everyone was shocked, he just like put it in his hand. And he just
Stepped away.
assumed he shot it. Like, oh shit.
He's like, not again. Bakey Boy is arrested, and later the boys like tap into the police frequency on their ham radio and discover that he had a heart attack and is
Yeah.
now in the hospital.
Yeah. Did they like?
Nothing came from that.
I think they like what's it called when you like, not really hack, but you just like interfere with like police radios.
Yeah.
Is that what they did?
I guess so. I don't
'Cause
know.
it'd be
I didn't realize
weird.
you could do that.
Yeah, because the way they were talking, it's like it was like a private conversation. I don't think it was the news.
No, it wasn't. They were like, oh my god, this guy just had a heart attack. Let's see. School is definitely closing
Oh yeah.
after the administrator shot a kid. 28-year-old man fighting with kids.
Man-child.
Then the cadets begin to plan on what to do next. You have anything? What's your next note?
Let's see. Condos. Oh shit, he did.
Which one?
The rabble rouser. Oh yeah. This is like the next one is the scene where David's not David. Damn it. Brian.
I also got them confused.
Brian's like he goes into where they have all the weapons.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Cause like I put, why is the warning on the inside? Did you notice? Where it's like they have signs on the doors that's like warning, keep out, prohibited, but it's on the inside of the door. Like,
well, how's the camera supposed to see it?
Exactly. I was like, what the fuck?
I took some notes for that scene as well. So the pencil pushers, as Bakey Boy call them, with hatred, they're taking inventory of the school's armory.
Yeah.
Here's a list of what they have. 24 hand grenades, 36 M2 Brownings. Do you know what those are?
Were those the rifles?
They're big machine guns that like
those.
you set on little tripods.
Oh, right.
Let's see, 8 4.2 inch mortar rounds.
Nice.
200 M16s.
Yeah, you saw
Fully
those.
automatic M16s at that, because you remember what Tom does.
Yeah.
96 45 millimeter automatic handguns.
Nice.
6 M16 bayonet crates. 6 81 millimeter mortars. At least 3 mortars that you like use to shoot, or I guess I don't fucking know. Is the 81 millimeter mortars, are those the things you shoot with, or are those the rounds? I'm not sure. But they had at least 3 mortars, as you would expect. Like you put the little thing in and shoot it out, and 1 forklift.
The most dangerous weapon.
Let's see. So what happens then? I don't really remember that much. It's the dean or no, they tell him that they tell Brian that there's nothing
they can do.
They tell him that there's no summer school.
Oh,
no summer sessions, and Brian
he like
breaks
loses it.
He just can't handle a world. He can't comprehend it with there being no summer sessions.
Yeah, these kids are like brainwashed at this point.
Yeah. I have right here, Bakey Boy was insane and brainwashed kids. So anyway, the dean or whatever who's there taking inventory tells Brian that the weapons are going to be confiscated and that the school is to be closed. And then the cadets meet back up and plan.
Yeah, my next note is shove a grenade up their asses.
I have that too.
Yeah. I'm like, dang, he's already giving ideas.
Oh my god. Oh, he's insane. So they're just talking about all the cadets, like the leaders, I guess, like Bryan and his friends. They're talking about what they should do next. And David, played by Tom Cruise, exclaims that he just wants to shove a grenade up their asses. And everybody else is like, Jesus Christ, David, calm down. Then Bryan says that the cadets are the proprietors of the school, which isn't true.
No,
not in any form of the word is that true. Let's see. Then the next day, do you remember what happens?
They go in those vehicles.
Yeah, they get like the troop transport trucks.
Rations. For their war.
No. If anybody asks, you tell them it's for the cleaning crew.
Yeah, is that what he said?
Yep. That's the excuse they give to the grocery store manager when they go to steal his food. Because he's like, I heard the school's closing. I'm not giving you provisions anymore.
Yeah.
So the cadets, which are basically all of them except for Bryan.
Yeah.
They all go to the grocery store, load up on supplies. Then while they're driving back home, the front truck driven by Pierce and Alex, I think.
Yeah.
It breaks down for some god knows why reason.
Coincidentally, in front of a pub.
Yep, in front of a pub, full of angry people who hate the school. I think it's the same guys.
Yeah, it's the same guys.
So they're clearly not teenagers then.
No.
They're 30-something-year-olds who just get drunk and harass kids.
Unless teenagers in the 80s were allowed to drink.
No.
Because remember in Endless Love where they're drinking in the dinner?
Maybe they all have cool families. This entire town is just full of families like the like Jade's. What was it? Butterfields.
These goddamn names.
At least these names in this film were a little more like normal and realistic.
Yeah.
Not that Butterfield is an unrealistic name if your last name's Butterfield.
Yeah.
But anyway, the truck breaks down and Alex attempts to figure out something in the engine compartment. And the local mob shows up. And they prepare to attack Pierce and Alex, and they pull Pierce out of the truck and they're getting ready to fucking like lynch him probably.
Yeah. They went for him first.
Yeah, they did. Nobody clapped. Then David is on the radio asking what's happening, and then he sees Pierce get pulled out of the truck. He jumps out of their second truck, cocks back his M16, and just unloads into the air. And like he's running and he's like, do, get down to the ground, you motherfuckers. He says something like that. He's like threatening them, and then everybody's like, holy shit, and runs away.
Yeah, honestly, I thought he was just gonna start mowing down those dudes. I was
as well have. Oh god, he just unloaded an automatic M16 in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
And like almost immediately you hear police sirens in the background, and Alex is like, David, what the fuck are you doing?
He went from 0 stars to 3 stars.
Oh man, that's true, because then the military shows up at 5.
Damn.
Oh my gosh, this film did GTA before GTA. Let's see. So
it's part of the GTA universe too.
How do we always find these interconnected universes? So let's see. All the cadets that are in the front truck, they get out and like all race inside, and there's like little kids that are like maybe 8 years old carrying M16s that are about as big as they are.
Yeah,
it's pretty fucked up. They're child soldiers. Then they retreat, and Tom orders the driver to ram a cop car. They ram through a cop car on their escape.
Is that 4 stars?
Yeah. I have right here, David's real name, David William Shawn, because Billy is short for William. And shit. Billy was his name in Endless Love. So what do you sẽ about that? You think that David is actually Billy from Endless Love? Because it seems plausible that he could be.
Yeah.
They're both seemingly insane. He kicked the arson thing and went straight to murder. Or maybe he he burned down one too many things, and his like parents sent him away to Bunker Hill.
Where he gets to train with weapons. Not a good idea.
They'll be like, "This is good for you, Billy. This will teach you honor or whatever."
Discipline.
Yeah, discipline.
Towards the end, they're like, "Oh shit,
maybe this was a mistake." Let's see. Do you have any notes after that? Because then it cuts back to the armory, which they found to be entirely empty.
Yeah.
And then David steps, or no, I'm sorry, not David. Brian steps out of the shadows, and
like a fucking villain.
Huh. And he talks to it's the dean and like some sheriff, I guess, that came along with him.
Yeah.
And they're like, Brian, where are the munitions? What happened to him? And Brian's like, don't worry, we confiscated all of them. And the cop is about to arrest him when from upstairs, 8 kids tricked out in military combat gear with M16s aim their guns at a cop and the dean, and they're like ready to fucking shoot him.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
5 stars.
No, not yet. The military isn't here.
Oh, true.
That's when the National Guard shows up. And then David tells them that they have 3 demands. Do you remember what they were?
I think he wanted to talk to Bakey Boy.
Mm-hmm.
And then he wants to keep the school open.
I wasn't quite sure what his second demand was. It wasn't very thought out. Because I thought...
I forget the third.
He wanted to look into not selling the school or look into...
Oh, yeah, alternatives.
Yeah, that's what it is. And 3 is a meeting with the board, which seems like it's basically like the board of trustees who are like gave it over to the condos. You see, the kids thought that the commies were their enemy. It's the condos. But I feel like 2 and 3 were basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Like looking into alternatives to the school, talking with the board of trustees.
He wanted to seem more important.
I guess, yeah. That's very likely. What do you got next?
Oh
no.
It's, Brian's dad sounds like a sociopath. Because I think it's like where he's... I think Alex asked him about his dad or something.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And his 15 minutes to cry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was
so, yeah, while the academy is filled with child paramilitary forces, Alex meets up, or no, it's after David and them get back, and Alex is like yelling at him and like how fucking insane he is. He's like, Brian, this guy is a lunatic.
Yeah.
We gotta get rid of him. And Brian's like, I trust him. He seems fine. David, his rebuttal to Alex calling him crazy is that he did his duty, and then everybody cheers.
Yeah.
But the cops show back up, like a fuck ton of them, and everybody takes position, and there's a standoff.
Mm-hmm.
And the cops are trying to like negotiate, I guess, but Brian's not having it. And then the cop yells, "Prepare to assault!" And Brian yells, "Prepare to rebel!"
Oh, yeah. I thought there was going to be a shootout.
Me too. I wonder who wrote that line.
maybe Tom Cruise, like...
Oh, it was ad-libbed by Tom Cruise, and then they're like, Tom, you're not in the shot.
Like, oh, okay, but can you say it anyways? I think it's pretty cool.
And that's when the first deserter escapes. It's this little kid who's like, I don't want to die.
Oh, yeah. He's a smart kid.
Oh, he is. And he like runs out, and the police come and take him away. The next day, Brian gets a call from the cops, and they're like, we have somebody on the line that wants to speak to you. Mm-hmm. And Brian's like, yeah, we did it! It's the trustees! We're gonna figure this all out! We won! Nope.
No, it's just your dad.
Yeah, it's just his parents. It's the board of concerned parents.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're led by Brian's dad, and that gets to what you were saying, which is Brian sulking in his room, worried about his dad showing up, because, do you remember the whole story?
It was like, his mom was dying from, like, a kidney failure, I think. And then...
She's dead.
And then his dad says, like, alright, I'll leave you near, like, this, like, chapel in the hospital, and you have 15 minutes to cry, and then afterwards you can't cry anymore. And he said he's 12.
Oh my god, really?
So yeah, that's pretty fucking
Jesus.
dark.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he had 15 minutes to cry, and then he never cried again.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta hold it all in.
Forever.
Like a true man. But, okay, let's see.
Gillette would want a word with him. Gotta keep it topical.
Yeah. Bryan meets with the concerned parents out in the field, and his dad tries to save him, I guess. But then he just starts berating him.
Fucking smacks him, too.
He says he could snap his neck.
Yeah.
That's a thing he says to his own son. He yells, "I could snap your neck." And then he hits him. Mm-hmm. And calls Bakey Boy a joke and a failure. And he's crying while he says this, so he clearly has some form of empathy and feelings, but he doesn't like the route his son's going down, which is following this insane man named Bakey Boy.
Yeah, I like this part, because he says, Brian's, like, praising Bakey Boy, but then he's like, he's got you brainwashed. Why does he care about honor and all of that?
Like, he's just he couldn't even make it in the military. He's running a school. He's just a glorified principal.
Yeah, and I was like, oh shit, maybe that dude's not so good after all.
Were you on Brian's side? How long into the film were you not on his side?
I think this is when I was like, maybe they shouldn't
do
this.
That's a good segue into the next day. Bryan gives a speech to the troops and asks for those unsure about what they're doing to leave. No one does. Mm-hmm. Do you think it's peer pressure or loyalty?
I think, like, a tiny bit of them, mostly David.
Mostly the Red Berets.
Or, like, loyal, brainwash, either.
Yeah, it's the same difference. Semantics.
But then the rest of them are just, like, probably scared.
Mm-hmm. They're worried.
Yeah.
Because they're fucking kids. Let's see. No one leaves. Then we cut to David pumping iron and listening to the Pointer Sisters. And that's when the fat kid's going around asking for grenades. And,
he got pumped in that. Like, he looks, like, pretty buff compared to, his, what's his name in, Endless Love?
Billy?
Billy, yeah.
Well, we didn't really see... Did we see him shirtless? Oh,
yeah,
we did, because he takes off his shirt. Hey, good for him.
He was on that protein.
It's just kerosene. It really tightens your muscles.
Don't worry about the fumes going to your brain.
Yeah, this just continues for... I want to say this all takes place in about a week.
Yeah.
You say it's...
Because they didn't bring that much food.
No, they only brought a truck's worth. So Bryan continues to treat Bakey Boy like a god.
Yeah.
And he and Alex discuss the entire situation and, like, just what they should do when they're alerted by David that a convoy is showing up. And this is when they get the 5 stars. Because the National Guard rolls up, and boy, do they roll up hard. They surround the school. For a second there, I thought they may be just going around the block to make it seem like they have more people.
Yeah. It's like, wait, didn't we see that truck already?
It's like an old cartoon. But, yeah, the National Guard takes over, led by Colonel Kirby. Yeah, I mean, any notes? What's your next note, so I know where we are?
Half of them left, so...
Oh, so that's pretty far.
Yeah.
Okay. So, later that night, the National Guard uses loudspeakers with messages from the parents calling their kids, which is music torture.
Oh, yeah.
That's like what they did at the fucking Waco siege, or somewhere in, like, Iraq or Desert Storm. They just blast, like, shitty pop music to make them just go crazy, and so they couldn't sleep.
Nice.
It's fucked up.
What? So it was like playbacks, and not because I at first I thought like the parents were
in the van that's driving around.
Like, yeah.
I feel like it'd be a lot easier to just have them record it and then
just play it over and over.
Because that they got a big tank of gas in that van. They can go around the block forever.
Yeah.
Let's see. Eddie, Ezra Miller, tries to dissuade Bryan and says that David is just way too into this.
Oh, yeah.
So, basically everybody's telling Bryan that David should not be trusted. Does Bryan listen?
No.
No. Because he's the cadet major, goddammit. He knows what's best for his men. He's a father to his troops, Saul. He is honorable. And you should show him some respect. Sit up straight for Bryan.
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh, Jesus, did you hear that? I think you cracked your entire spine.
Yeah.
How often do you sit upwards?
Never.
Oh, God. The next day, there's a total of 11 missing troops from 3 companies. But all the Red Berets are still present.
Of course.
And do you remember what David says when, like, Bryan calls them all over?
It wasn't nice.
No, it's not. He calls them 11 goddamn scum.
Oh, right.
Later, Colonel Kirby meets up with Major Moreland. That's his name, right? Moreland? Yeah. And Kirby tries to shut him down and says that there's no way that this will end well.
Foreshadowing. But I guess it's obvious this isn't going to end well.
And Bryan's like, no, we got this.
Nah.
We're not giving in to your demands, because defeat is worse than death. Which is something he will later say in the film. Bryan gives the same speech about those not believing in the cause, and asks for anyone who isn't sure to leave. And that's when Eddie takes the first step, followed by about 20 others.
Yeah.
It's probably about half of the entire school population so far. How many, I don't know, how many do you think that is? Like 60, 70 kids left?
Yeah.
About so. Eddie tries one last time to dissuade Bryan from going through with this, and he's like, come on, man, we can fucking leave right now. You don't have to go through with this. But Bryan he doesn't say anything. He's like, you're dismissed.
If they were to, like, all leave right now, what do you think their charges would be?
Oh, man.
Because, like, no one's died yet, so there's that at least. They could probably pin it all on one person. Bryan.
David. I feel like you should pin it on David.
Oh yeah, that too. Forgot
he's not safe for society. Let's see. But David says that Bakey Boy wouldn't have deserted, and he's like, get out of my face, leave my sight.
Yeah.
And so then Eddie leads the troops out through the gates, and they leave. And that's when David becomes Wormtongue.
Wormtongue?
Yeah, from Lord of the Rings. He's like, I can't think of his name. The old king's, like, advisor. He's like, whispering evilness into his ears. He's like, we should do this, king.
Yeah.
Basically, Bryan is becoming a puppet for David. They're having a coup, and he doesn't even realize it. Do you remember Alex just losing it while they're watching TV? And he acts like a news reporter?
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck was that? So, it's like maybe the 3rd or 4th day of constant hearing their parents outside from, like, the tinny speakerphones of a van and rationing their food, which I think they say they're running short on.
Yeah,
at
they
this
said,
point.
like, everything's stale.
That's right. Everything's either stale or, like, spoiled. Which is,
Yum.
What the fuck are they doing with that food? You think they know how to store it properly?
Yeah, they still have power.
Yeah, and they still have water and everything. They got all their amenities still, but they're already fucking up. But Alex acts like a news reporter for some reason. He's like, Major Bryan, what do you think of the crazy kids inside that school? And Bryan's like acting like it's a real news report. He's like giving real answers.
Yeah. I think at this point he was like trying to like show Bryan that it's like a terrible idea without actually saying it.
Yeah. Because after Bryan gets annoyed at him and they're arguing, Alex says, back to you, Walter. Major's getting pissed.
Yeah.
I love that line. And of course, that leads to Bryan and Alex fighting in the hallway and beating the shit out of each other.
Finally.
God.
I was expecting that for a while.
I was expecting Alex to, like, die when he started talking bad about David.
Oh, yeah.
I read on the Wikipedia page that Roger Ebert, the film critic, said that this film was a lot like The Lord of the Flies. Do you know what that is?
I know it.
I think it's also a book, but it's based on 2 movies, there are 2 different versions of the film. It's these schoolboys are on a plane when World War III happens, and the plane crash lands on an island, and like they have to survive by themselves, and like they tribalize, and 2 factions form, and they basically go insane, and like one like starts killing other kids, and it's not a good time. But it's basically this movie.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah. I forgot where I was going with that.
I guess, like, opposing forces?
Yeah, that's right. I thought it was going to turn into Lord of the Flies.
So, like...
Because one of, like, the good kid, he gets killed when he starts, like, questioning, like, the evil guy.
Oh.
So I thought that was going to be Alex's role.
Yeah.
But nope, unfortunately. I don't know why I said unfortunately. Alex is probably the best character.
Yeah.
But as they're fighting, the electricity finally shuts off. Because they've turned off the power, and all the kids are like, what the hell happened?
Wasn't it the water first?
Was it?
I think it was.
Oh, I think so, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
They shut off the water while they're, like, taking showers and brushing their teeth, and like, what happened?
Good thing there wasn't any nudity this time.
Oh, God. We almost got some Tom Cruise man-ass in the shower scene.
So close.
Yeah. Hey, he was 19.
Yeah, it's fine this time. Not like fucking,
Jade and...
15-year-old.
Then, as the power shuts off, David takes charge, which is not good. He just immediately steals the position of leader from Bryan, and like takes command of the troops, and they all rush outside. And do you remember what they discover?
Is this where the tank shows up?
Yep. The National Guard, ladies and gentlemen, brings in a tank, and it like rolls all the way down the street, and it's like blasting its like high beams at them.
Yeah.
And then it just parks right in front of the gates.
It like points the cannon right out the window too.
It does. They like scan the building, and like it cuts to kids like trying to sleep, and like bright light shines in and everything.
I thought they were about to try to dismantle it, like right out of the bat.
Wait, dismantle what?
The school.
Oh, like they're gonna crash through the gates?
It's getting remodeled anyways.
You're right. They could have just demolished it.
Yeah,
would have done the construction workers' job.
Bringing a bunch of tractors, or what are those things? Steamrollers.
Yeah. Okay, first we bring in the tanks, then the steamrollers, then the condos,
then the janitors.
Then the janitors.
The most dangerous ones.
And this is where I think both of our favorite scene happens, when they're trying to repair the generator. Is that your favorite scene?
Yeah, for one reason.
Oh, would you like to explain?
All right, so what's his name?
Pierce.
Pierce. They're all trying to like get the it's like
the nerdy kid is like doing something in like this old generator that they're trying to get back into working condition.
Yeah.
And yeah, Pierce is pouring gasoline in it.
And like you saw him pour it, and it's like running off like everywhere.
He's not doing a good job.
He's not doing a good job.
Splashing it everywhere.
So
the cap's probably not off.
You can probably tell what's gonna happen. So they try to turn it on, and wow, suddenly Pierce is on fire. And my favorite part about that is like you hear him scream, and then for a second I thought it was the Wilhelm scream. Just played over and over. It kind of sounded like
that would have been amazing. But yeah, Pierce is lit ablaze. I was expecting the whole thing to blow up and like everybody to die.
Yeah.
But it was just Pierce. Right. And then it's a hard cut to like 2 guys slamming an ambulance door closed with his body in the back, and like the ambulance pulling out through the gates.
Is he dead?
I was gonna ask that. I don't know. He could easily be dead, or he could easily have 3rd-degree burns for the rest of his life and wish he were dead. His life got ruined.
Yeah. He'll never move again.
Oh, God. Breathing hurts.
Just kill me.
God, I need a drink. Good thing we have these giant, fun-sized bottles of Jack whiskey here. Let's see. So after Pierce is lit on fire, Kirby tells Bryan that he's going to kick the door down at dawn. And that's all the time they have left. This is way too much. A kid just got lit on fucking fire.
Yep.
I'm not letting you kids play fort anymore in the building. And that's when Kirby realizes that Bryan is insane. And also a brainwashed death lover. Oh, you have a note.
Let's see. Oh shit, a tank. And then, are they going to blow up the school? All right, and then, how did the fire spread to his body so quickly?
He really splashed that gasoline all over him.
He just showered himself with it.
He filled it up way too much, and while he was like carrying it, it was just like sloshing around.
It's like, where's the cap, dude?
It's like,
don't
Pierce,
worry.
have you never filled anything up before? Well, I wonder if they use the same kind of gas water tap that they had in Endless Love.
Oh yeah. Damn, these guys need some new pipe work.
Jeez, I know. But Bryan, yeah, he is a brainwashed death lover. Can we both agree to that?
Yeah.
He reduces his demands to one, which is meeting with General Brigadier Bakey Boy.
Which kind of defeats the purpose at this point, because it's all about the school. But now he's like,
now he just wants to see his daddy.
Let me talk to my
father figure,
my real dad.
That's a role that General Bakey Boy accepts way too happily. Like, yeah, I'll be your father figure. It wasn't that creepy, but that was more like a Hollywood executive. Boom! Isn't that some hard gripping cultural commentary? But do you remember the sad news that Kirby gives him?
Yeah. He's like, well, it turns out he's dead. He literally just died of a heart attack
last night.
Yeah.
And
which I thought he was lying to him.
Yeah, me too. But I don't think he would.
No.
Kirby's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's just, oh man, can you imagine being in his position, having to deal with these fucking insane kids taking over a school? Like,
I would have just charged, like, the second you saw that the kid was lit on fire, it's like, all right, this has gone too far. Just open the gates.
Yeah, just fucking tear the gates down with your tank.
Yeah.
This is when Bryan finally loses it completely and snaps. He stares blankly for 20 seconds. Do you know how long that is?
Yeah.
You want to find out? 1001, 1002, 1000. Hey, you can't blink. You didn't blink.
All right.
All right, start again. This is great for a podcast. 1001, 1002, 1003,
Shit.
1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009, 1010, 1011, 1012, 1013, 1014, 1015, 1016, 1017, 1018, 1019, 1020. How are your eyes? Oh, God, they're so red. Oh, I think your right one's bleeding.
Oh, no.
Oh, God. Hey, you can hold off until we're done, right?
Yeah.
It's only your eye. What do you think Kirby was thinking that whole time?
This kid, he has nothing left to lose. He's gonna try to kill me.
Oh shit, I shouldn't have said that. And then later, the cadets have a memorial for Bakey Boy, and they play taps. And they lay the sword down, and Bryan gives a speech very in line with Bakey Boy and his philosophy, which is about how dishonor and defeat are worse than death.
Yeah.
And he's like, we shall not back down.
Which, at this point...
It proves Kirby is correct.
Yeah.
Like, almost immediately.
Yeah.
And I counted about 34 cadets remaining.
So, like, even more have been leaving after... Oh, okay. That makes sense.
There's about 34 left by the time they give the memorial service, assuming that they're all there. Let's see. Oh, man. Anything next? What's your next note?
I only have 3 left. They're, rip the kid.
Okay, that's my next note, too. So let's go from there. Later that night, these 2 little kids that we've sort of been introduced to every now and again throughout the film, Charlie and Derek.
Which, I guess, when they, like, showed us them a lot, I should have seen this
Yeah,
coming.
me too. I did not.
I didn't.
I was just like, what the fuck do these kids have to do with anything? I didn't pick up on the context clues. But yeah, they're these like little kids that Bryan, I guess, he's like in charge of. They're in his company.
Yeah.
And yeah, whatever. They're lying out behind sandbags as like the tank is rolling around and the loudspeakers are going.
I think they're Sentry. They're like,
yeah, they are.
Yeah,
they're one of the many that are out there. But it's these two little. How old do you think they are? Like 6, maybe 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
they
12,
look
13?
like it, but I think they're 12 or supposed to be 12 because that's when Bryan enrolled.
Oh, really?
So I guess that's like the earliest.
Huh.
Yeah.
Let's see. But I don't remember who's who. But
I don't know their names.
yeah, one of them, they're
Kid
Charlie
one,
and
kid
Derek. So one of them is talking about how scared he is, and the other says like not to worry because like no one's gonna die or anything.
Yeah. I think Derek's the one that's scared.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yes. Looking at my later notes. So Derek is like scared and he doesn't want to be here anymore, and he wants to go home to his mom and dad, like any kid would do.
Like any 12-year-old.
Except for the Red Berets.
Yeah.
They're like, I killed my parents. But Derek, after Charlie attempts to convince him to stay, finally loses it, and he like leaps over the sandbags, drops his M16, and like screams like, I wanna leave. But as he drops it, it goes off and just pops one shot into the air, and Charlie stands up and he's like, Derek! And then the National Guard and police, assuming they're being attacked, open fire and kill Charlie, the little kid. They fill him with like 1 or 2 or 5 or 20 bullets. And his little body hits the floor and bleeds out.
Rip.
And that's when Kirby decides, hey, I think we should do something about these kids.
Yeah.
This is actually when he says that he's going to take the campus at dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know why the fuck he just doesn't do it immediately after the kid gets killed.
Longer?
Bryan is completely broken at this point, and David is insane. More than so, he's revealed his true self. He doesn't have to hide anymore.
He already has war paint on at this point. Making like battle plans, strategies.
He's fucking making like spider holes, like digging them out in the field.
Now it's Home Alone.
Oh, he just goes full gorilla. Oh god. But yeah, that happens, and later, closer to dawn, Alex finds Bryan sitting in Bakey Boy's office watching like an old film reel for what is it? It's like an advertisement for the school.
I think it's like their training video.
Yeah, that's probably
because he like explains what it's gonna be about. So maybe it is like an advert for it.
Mm-hmm. But it's like probably like an orientation video.
Yeah. I thought Bryan was just insane at this point. He was just hearing him. He's like pretending he's there.
Oh my god. What if that would happen? I feel like that would have completely like...
That would have been cool. Like if you hear him and then you see him on the screen, but then like...
he steps out behind him?
Alex shows
Alex.
up, and then you don't see...
Yeah, there's nothing there.
There's nothing there. He's just staring at the wall. You're like, what are you doing?
That'd be pretty cool.
We should have directed this.
Yeah. You want to go back in time? I got this time travel machine.
Before we were born.
I got a time traveling machine out in my shed. You want to go use it?
Sure.
But Alex finds him, and Bryan... Oh, no, wait, what is happening? Okay, so Alex sort of sits there and he's like talking about how like Charlie and how he was like when he first showed up and how good of a soldier he became.
Yeah, he like said he was really timid at 1st and cried,
and then finally opened up like a man.
Yeah,
he figured out how to hide his feelings. Bryan reminisces about like what was it, like
basketball?
I thought it was a volleyball game.
I think it was basketball.
One of a sport that they played like at the campus, and he's like, oh, I miss those simpler times when we were just kids on campus doing stuff and not men in a war.
I thought this was gonna go like in another direction where like Alex confesses his love, because like at this point why are you still here, because you clearly don't like this, so
maybe
why
he was
maybe
because he did say earlier I think it's like around the time when his dad shows up that he has something important to tell him.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe Alex was in love with him.
Oh, shit.
Damn, and that's why he was cradling the body. Spoiler alert.
Oh, no.
Oh, man, that's so much more tragic for an already tragic film.
Yeah.
It's just layers on layers of horror and sadness.
We're just dissecting this.
What is war good for?
War never changes.
But let's see. Brian begins to question everything he's been taught, and he's like, it means nothing. He was an insane man. Like, he realizes how crazy Bakey Boy was.
A little too late for that. At this point, a kid's fucking dead. 2, actually.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
One of them just looks like...
Let's just say 1.5 are dead.
I was counting the rabble-rouser.
Oh, I was counting Pierce.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean... The rabble-rouser, that wasn't Alex's. That wasn't Brian's fault.
That was their own fault, kind of.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that started fighting.
Yeah, they were the catalyst.
Yeah, you never mess with JROTC kids.
Oh god. Let's see. Alex tells him that they should just declare a victory, for God's sake.
I didn't really get that. Is it like pretending they won so they retain their honor?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Oh, okay.
He's like, we did it, everybody! We held out! We showed them what we're capable of!
Now, hands up in the air, guys. We're going to jail.
We're gonna all be tried as adults.
We don't want to be tried as kids.
It would be dishonorable.
That actually happens, right? Because Kirby's like, all right, we'll try it. Like, he's gonna do what he can.
Yeah, that's right. He's like, I'll try and help you guys out as much as I can, but fuck, you're really digging yourself a hole.
Yeah. And then he's like, no, stop calling us kids. It's like,
I'm an adult. Another running theme, same as Endless Love, where they think they're more mature than they are.
Oh yeah, with fucking Jade. She's like, we're in love, and you told me you could do this. She's fucking 15.
No, David's fucking 15.
Damn. You're right.
But yeah, Brian agrees to declaring a victory, and he's like, okay, I guess.
Yeah, he's just dead at this
Yeah, he's
point.
a shell of what he once was. And then he and Brian and Alex begin to walk towards the gate through the courtyard, and they're like, it's over! Everybody fall in, everybody, it's over!
They all just like start coming out of their hiding
Yeah,
spots. Like some kid goes out from a bush. I didn't see him, so good camo.
Yeah, he's doing a good job.
Yeah.
Just fucking come out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
Everybody falls in, except for one person.
God damn it.
Can you guess who it is? I'll give you a hint. He's a goddamn red beret. Everybody except for David, who has set up shop in the corner room of the dormitory building.
Jesus. With
a M60 heavy machine gun fitted into the windowsill, and his M16, which he cocks, locks, and is ready to rock. He aims down sight at Colonel Kirby and fucking shoots him.
Yeah.
But he didn't do a good job because he was aiming for his throat, but he shot like his shoulder.
I thought he hit the fence because I didn't see like...
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Because I think you see him like a little bit after.
Kirby gets like shot at least in like the right arm, I think. But he was aiming for his throat.
Yeah.
Thank God he's not a good shot. And then he's like, yeah! And then he starts unloading with the M60 just on the police and National Guard. He's just fucking shooting. Oh my...
Now it's 5 stars.
Yeah, now it's 5 stars. Now shit is going down, boy. National Guard, they start fucking throwing like smoke grenades in, and like the tank busts down the gate, and they're like storming the place from all sides. And Brian and Alex, they start racing to go stop David from killing everybody.
Who has just gone full.
He's like
Harvey Oswald.
Oh god. Do you remember what he looks like when they find him?
Yeah, he's like smiling and
he like spit's like coming out of his mouth.
He's just frothing at the mouth.
And you know what he screams?
He like compliments the gun.
He's like, "It's beautiful, man!
Yeah.
It's beautiful!" And then he starts shooting again. And they look out the window, and the tank positions itself, and like the machine gun readies. And Brian tackles David as the tank's machine gun unloads on the window, and then smoke fills the room. And then we cut to Kirby and like the National Guardsmen all running through the hallways in their perspective, and they round a corner, and it's just Alex sitting there cradling Bryan's bullet-ridden body, which is lying next to David's, and they're dead. They're fucking dead. They're bleeding out on the floor. They're long dead. Fuck.
That was like really dark. I thought at first Bryan like didn't get shot, because you saw like when he tackles David, that David gets shot for sure, but I didn't see any like bullets hit Bryan.
Oh no, those have got to be like 50 fucking cal bullets or something.
Yeah, but then you see him, he's just bloody as hell.
He's
So
covered in bullet. He looks like Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
Then Alex carries Bryan's body out of Bunker Hill through the smoke, and like the National Guardsmen escort all the cadets out while Taps slowly plays in like a sort of lullaby. Fuck, that's the end, everybody. That's how the film ends.
Yeah.
It like just slowly pans up into the sky, and like Alex is like a little figure in the distance walking through the smoke with David's body.
Didn't it play when didn't it like replay the scene where they're like
That's I have right here, in his final moments alive, Bryan dreams of graduation, a simpler time when they were still children.
Damn, that's good. My last notes were rip and bruh. When David just starts fucking shooting, I was like, dude, come on.
But yeah, that's how the film ends, everybody. Only Alex is like the only like named character that's still alive, right?
Yeah, like one of the kids.
Oh, Eddie escaped.
Yeah.
Maybe Pierce.
Maybe. And Charlie.
Oh yeah. No,
wait, no, Charlie's
Derek.
Derek, yeah. So just Derek, maybe Eddie, and Alex.
Nah, Eddie definitely got it. Because he's the guy who leaves with all the others.
Oh no,
Pierce is the
Pierce.
one.
Yeah, burned.
But yeah, that's the film, everybody.
Yeah. I liked the movie.
Yeah, okay,
but
here
the ending.
afterthoughts.
Oh, all right.
Now continue.
I liked the movie, but that ending it kind of felt a little like disappointing in a way, because like you don't find out what happens. Like obviously
the school shuts down. They all have trauma that horrifies them for years.
Yeah, if they're not in jail. Or while they're in jail. Yeah, but when it replayed that scene where they're like still cadets, I thought it was gonna turn into like Groundhog Day, where because he died, he goes back in time and he has to try to stop David.
No, that happens later in another Tom Cruise film. Edge of Tomorrow. So afterthoughts, what rating do you give this? Of course, here at the Cruising Altitude podcast, we have a very special rating system.
Yeah.
It's 21 teeth in total. A perfect 21 out of 21 is called a full smile. How many teeth do you give this film? I'll tell you real quick the other scores so you can think over yours.
Sure.
IMDb gave it a 6.8. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 71%. And Metascore, whatever that is, has it at 49.
49 out of 100?
I guess.
I think I'd give it like 16 and a chipped teeth out of 21.
Okay.
I liked it.
Yeah, me too. I give it 18 out of 21 teeth.
Yeah.
That's a good chipped teeth. Oh, man. Any more afterthoughts you have? I don't have many, just because of how depressed I was at the end of this film. I didn't really want to talk. I just wanted to like crawl up in the darkness.
Yeah.
And just think about my own mortality.
Yeah. That was basically me too. But yeah, I don't, other than like wanting to see what actually becomes of the school and like
condos.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Let's move on to our favorite segment of the show, Tom Cruise news. We actually have something. One thing this time, but it's more something. Tom Cruise recently tweeted out a photo showing the Mission Impossible logo with two, what are those things called on a bomb? Like the string part that you light on fire. A wick. On each side, slowly like burning down.
Oh.
And he revealed that there are going to be 2 new Mission Impossible films coming out in 2021 and 2022.
Damn.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Directed by Christopher McQuarrie, who directed Fallout and Rogue Nation, the 2 most recent ones.
Oh, okay.
And as we covered in the first episode, have you seen any of them? Of the Mission Impossible series?
Probably the older ones.
I've seen parts of, I think, the 3rd one.
Yeah, I know I have watched them. I don't recall the plot.
I've only seen...
Oh, wait. I do recall one scene.
Oh, no.
Where, Wait, no. I'm thinking of another movie. Never mind.
Was it at least a Tom Cruise movie you were thinking of?
It was another spy movie. It was James Bond.
Oh, wow. I bet that'll make some people mad. I've only seen Fallout. It was okay. But that's it for the Tom Cruise news segment this week. I think I found some more gossipy stuff. But like I said, we ain't about that here. We're about hard facts and the truth and honor. But yeah, that brings us to the end of the podcast. Only 1 hour and 14 minutes in. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, and whatever PodBean is at the Cruising Altitude Podcast. You can also follow us on Twitter at at Cruising Podcast and at Smokey's Videos. Those are both mine. Also, you can find me on YouTube at Smokey's Videos, which may be where you're watching this at. And you can find Saul on Instagram at DioSamaArt. That's DIO_SAMA_art. And, of course, make sure you give one big follow to our main man, Tom Cruise, at Tom Cruise.
Yes.
Yeah. Join us next month for The Outsiders from 1983. So he had 2 films in 81 and then sort of skipped a year. He didn't have to work.
He had to go to therapy after that movie.
Yeah. He had to go to physical therapy to help with the bullet holes. They actually filled him up with bullets. He does his own stunts.
Yeah.
But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you next time. Do you have a good outro thing to say?
Yeah. I do. Bye.
The cruise is the limit. That was a good one?
Yeah.
Bye.
See ya.